So I never ever thought I would make a video that would say this, but here I am today making it. Star Wars, it's time for me to break up with you. We're done. Hey there everybody, it's RevKev here. Pray you're having an amazing day today. If you're new to the channel, would love it if you'd hit that subscribe button, like the video, and most important to me is when you comment. I love interacting with everybody in the comments. It really means the world to me. This video is going to be a little bit of a rant. I'm going to try to keep it brief, but I have been really struggling for the past couple of years when it comes to Star Wars. You see, when I started this YouTube channel, I've had it for almost a decade, but I really just started to put a lot more energy into it after The Last Jedi because there was so much hostility online, and I was still hanging on to hope that Lucasfilm was going to turn it around, that Lucasfilm was going to just really tell some really great stories, and I was hanging on to hope, created little hashtags, keeping Star Wars fun. I wanted to be positive when it came to Disney and Lucasfilm Star Wars. And I tried and I tried and I tried. And then when I walked out of The Rise of Skywalker, it just hit me that I'm done. It really hit. And it put me in a bit of a tailspin over the last few months because Star Wars has been such a huge, important part of my life ever since I was 6 years old in 1977. My dad brought me to see Star Wars. I remember we went into the balcony of our local theater, sat right in the second row of the balcony, and just mesmerized as a 6-year-old boy, taken away to this galaxy far, far away. And it changed everything. It just changed the trajectory of my life, my hobbies, my interests, my friend group, the fact that to believe in hope, that good can vanquish evil, that people can be redeemed. It just sets such a foundation of who I was and who I am. And when Disney purchased Star Wars and we learned we're going to get more stories and everything, I was excited to hear how we're going to take this galaxy and this universe, which is so broad, and we're going to create all these different stories. And for me, everything that's just been created has just been garbage. And here's why. You see, Star Wars is not about the universe, and it's not about all the side stories. For me, Star Wars has been about this family, the Skywalkers. Like George Lucas himself said, Star Wars is all about the Skywalkers. It's a soap opera. He called it that many times. It's a soap opera in space. It's about this family. The story that's happening around is insignificant. It's not important. It's not what's driving the story. It's this family. The rise, the fall, the redemption of Anakin Skywalker. That is what Star Wars is. A family story. And then so to bring in other stories, that's cool. You could tell some stories about this bounty hunter over on this planet. You can tell these stories about Baby Yoda over there. You could tell these stories about a battle that happened during the Clone Wars over there. As long as you're staying away and not monkeying around with that core story. And that's not what Disney Star Wars did. They busted that story. They broke that story. They made Anakin's redemption useless. They made Luke Skywalker's story arc useless. They made Princess Leia useless. They wrecked it all. And for a guy like me, that hurt. And it was like, okay, I get it. I'm still clinging on to hope. I'm going to see if you're going to redeem it. And it just never could be redeemed. And I just lost more hope. And it's gotten to the point now where every single announcement that comes up, every new thing that's being announced, every new piece of information coming out about the novel or the Disney Plus shows or anything, I've gotten to the point now where I hate it. And I'm not the type of guy who hates. I'm really not. When people say, oh, Kev, you're just a hater. Rev Kev, you're such a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm passionate. I love it. But I guess I have. I've become a hater. I hate it. And some of the reasons why I hate it, I think it's twofold. The first is on the topic of canon. Now, canon comes from a Greek word, right? And the Greek word literally means rule or measuring stick. Now, in my world as a pastor, I believe in closed canon, like the Bible. Here's the rules, here's the measuring stick, and it's closed. You don't add to it, right? That's how we treat the Bible. Well, canon in science fiction, in fantasy, things like that, it's a set of rules. It's a measuring stick that every story has got to line up to. And when the Star Wars story group at Lucasfilm isn't actually concerned about canon, they're more concerned with politicking and more concerned with where, the theme behind the story. And they don't really care if a director or a writer or a video game creator or a comic book writer breaks a previous story as long as the story was good and fits their agenda. For a guy like me, that drives me insane. Because why would I be invested in that character if the next book can just wreck it? Why would I be invested in this story if the next story could just rewrite it? And that's been the history of Disney Star Wars since day one. The Force Awakens just was rewriting the original trilogy. And then The Last Jedi came out, which rewrote some of the stuff that was being set up in The Force Awakens. And then The Rise of Skywalker came out, and it retconned The Last Jedi. And now we're getting the Rise of Skywalker novelization, and that's retconning the movie that the book is based on. Like, when does this end? It's just infuriating to me, and I hate it. For me, it's become garbage, and it's time for me to move on. I mean, heck, Lucasfilm has been saying for the last 2 years that 40-year-old, white males is not who they're making this stuff for anymore. So, you got your wish, Lucasfilm. I'm moving on. Life's too short. There's too many amazing things that I want to do, too many amazing things I want to spend my money and my time on and my energy on, and to enjoy life and to enjoy all the blessings that I have in my life and with my friends. So, we're done. I have one last thing to buy, and that will be the last nickel that I'm going to be spending on Disney Star Wars. I have Darth Vader #2 from Marvel Comics, which is going to be put in my comic book box at my local comic book shop this week. I'm going to pick that up and paid for it because I pre-ordered it. And then I'm done. I've pre-ordered Disney Plus for the year. When that runs up, we'll see if I continue it. Really, honestly, we're barely watching Disney Plus. There's not a lot on there. Watched The Mandalorian, which I enjoyed. Clone Wars, bit of a letdown so far. And I like Encore. I'm a big sucker for musicals, so more Encore. But apart from that, I think my plans going forward was when it comes to Star Wars, I'm going to keep collecting my expanded universe books and novels that I lost. I used to have a whole pack of them, lost them in a basement flood about a decade ago, so I want to rebuild that collection. But that's not giving Lucasfilm any money. That's going to give money to local charities and garage sales and secondhand bookstores. So I'm happy to support local business and charity that way. Probably still going to keep playing Imperial Assault, the discontinued game from Fantasy Flight Games, because it sits in that one timeline between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. Great game, love the game. But everything else, it's time to move on. So, feels good just to get that off my chest. I had someone pray this over me this morning. This is from Philippians chapter 3. And this was written by the Apostle Paul. Now, Paul was kind of the Jew of Jews, like the elite of the elite when it came to the ancient Jewish faith. And he becomes a follower of Jesus, and he looks back at his past life and all the things that he thought were so important to him, the things that mattered the most. And this is what Paul writes in Philippians chapter 3. He says, "So what is more, I consider everything." So everything from his past life, he considers those things a loss, because of the surpassing worth of knowing Jesus Christ, his Lord, for whom sake I have lost all those things. He's lost all these past things. And he goes, those past things that I thought were so important, I consider them garbage compared to knowing Jesus. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I want to love people. I want to care for people. I want to bless people. I want to make more friends around the world. Well, I love this channel, and I love the people that I've met in the Fandom Menace, the Fandom Collective, and a whole bunch of different, the Grey Order. Love you all. You mean the world to me. But I'm just done with Star Wars. It's just garbage. and I'm okay with that. So that's just my rant video today. Would love to know if you think I'm crazy. If you stuck around this long, so just kind of put in the comments, just write Rev Kev, you're crazy. That way I know you got this far. Or Rev Kev, I agree with you. Then I know you got this far. That would mean a lot to me. Until the next video, God bless you. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. It really means the world to me, and look forward to seeing you again in the next video. God bless you.